Sonic speed!
Holy crap, is there a lot to talk about in Super Mario Odyssey. We all thought the game had a bunch of stuff from the first trailer, even more than I initially found, I'll admit. But this new trailer just blew me away with how amazing it looked. With the trailer during Nintendo's E3, the footage from the Nintendo Treehouse, and the on and off screen demo footage of various YouTube channels, there's an enormous amount of Super Mario Odyssey stuff to cover. And all of that is how this analysis will be constructed. Now before I begin, I'd like to shout out these YouTubers you see on screen, GameXplain and Commonwealth Realms, for the footage and gameplay to be presented, as well as Nintendo, for not only giving this footage as well, but also for making and giving us what seems to be the perfect Mario game. In this analysis, I'm going to be going over the basics, you know, like the main characters and the abilities, followed by some narrative, the main goal, the world, and any extra details I'd like to point out. Without any more hesitation, sit back, grab some popcorn, get some snacks, and enjoy. Let's get started. The story is an obvious trope of Mario stopping Bowser from reigning supreme and saving Peach, but with a twist. Bowser's actually holding a forced marriage, and it's up to Mario to physically object this unrequited proposal. With the help of his new friend Cappy, he'll gain brand new abilities to help him on his quest. But how did Mario meet Cappy to begin with, one might ask? We'll know the full answer soon, but from both the first trailer and the newest one, I have an idea of exactly how these two became friends rather quickly. In the first trailer, we see Mario confronting Bowser wearing his white tuxedo and top hat, and another portion where Bowser was hatless, but the camera was coming in towards Mario at an angle, as if Mario was about to get hit by a homing projectile. I'm confident this is the beginning of the game, where we are introduced to Bowser's brand new hat-throwing abilities, as Mario is conductively attacked and thrown overboard, leaving Peach yelling in distraught and worry as she scores her new wedding tiara in her usual pink attire. What supports this is we see Bowser in the new trailer ready to throw his dapper hat with Peach held in his arm, almost exactly like how he did in the first trailer. This is likely the point where he begins to throw his hat, and what also supports this is we see Peach later on in the second trailer wearing not just the same wedding tiara, but she's not scoring her pink dress. Instead, this is a different scene, as she's wearing a white wedding dress to boot, just like what she's wearing in the posters and ads celebrating the upcoming wedding. What's more is Peach is holding a bouquet of flowers, or rather piranha plants, which are likely a direct reference to the Super Mario Adventure comics, where Bowser also held a forced marriage with Peach, and Peach was under Kamek's mind control, holding the same bouquet of piranha plants and rocking a similar wedding dress. Hell, even Mario and Bowser dressed as dappers in this game, and those are probably references to the comic as well. But I see it more with Peach than Mario and Bowser. I'm betting Mario was hit overboard and will fall into the black and white Nightmare Before Christmas themed world, the Cap Kingdom, specifically in a town called Bonneton. How is this town deduced as Bonneton, you might ask? Well, with all the caps and hats themed throughout the world, it makes sense to call it a Cap Kingdom, but it's not really that simple, because some official artwork was released for Super Mario Odyssey with Mario and various enemies he captured on screen. But behind them is an atlas of the entire world of Super Mario Odyssey. That was also revealed during E3, and in the picture, we could see 6 kingdoms mapped out: the Metro Kingdom to the south, as well as New Donk City, the Luncheon Kingdom to the east, which is the polygonal food world, as well as Mount Volbono, the Wooded and Sand Kingdoms to the west, also showing Cogwald next to the Wooded Kingdom, or what is actually changed to Steam Gardens, and Tostarena, the name of the village and ruins in the Sand Kingdom, the Cascade Kingdom to the north, as well as Fossil Falls above it, and lastly, beneath it, the Cap Kingdom, with a little island called Bonneton. That's primarily why, and there's the obvious hat themes everywhere, but we'll get to that in a minute or two. But with just 6 kingdoms on the map, is this the entire world in Super Mario Odyssey? Are we really gonna get just 6 worlds in this grand, massive Mario adventure? I have my doubts, because the developers of the game did specify the game itself is going to be a long, adventurous Mario experience, and there's evidence supporting the possibility of there being more than 6 worlds. Plus, it seems a little hard to believe we'll just get 6 worlds in Super Mario Odyssey, even if every single world thus far was shown to have much to do in them. But how Mario and Cappy meet exactly might have something to do with Bowser. Later on, when we see Mario talk to the mayor of New Donk City, she thanks him for assisting her and the city from a previous disaster, which is likely the work of Bowser. Maybe it's not too far of a stretch to assume Bowser's already caused some chaos before mopping the floor with Mario. Speaking of mopping the floor, in the first trailer, Bowser holds Peach in his grip and stomps on Mario's hat. I'm more inclined to suspect he'll either slash it or burn it as well, or one of his minions might have torn it themselves even. Why? Because later in the trailer, we see Cappy holds a thread of Mario's hat with the M on it and transform it to a brand new hat for Mario to rock around with that looks just like his old one. That's right, my beautiful viewers. Mario's hat is gone almost the whole game. That's why you see him a decent number of times with him not wearing a hat and Cappy next to him, as well as Cappy's ghost-like appearance in his dialogue boxes. Cappy is a brand new friend of Mario, but he's replacing his trademark cap during this adventure, hopefully to fill the void in Mario's heart. I mean, next to his mustache, how else are you supposed to recognize Mario in an instant? That hat was a part of him. He's gotta be upset losing a piece of his identity. Speaking of, that ghost-looking dapper form of Cappy is actually his original form, with his hair resembling a blue wisp. Is he the ghost within Mario's hat? I doubt it, because you'd think he'd at least resemble Mario's hat with the shape and everything. His lower body resembles that of an Eerie, and he's regarded as energetic, but timid. When he holds Mario's hat thread in the trailer, he transforms and replicates himself into that hat with the same shape, form, color, and everything. But it's also at that point we see Mario chuck his hat like Bowser did. And it's at this point as well where he's introduced to the cap throwing ability and the capture ability. Yup. Anything Kirby or Ditto can do, Mario can do better, because with a flick of the wrist and a toss of his cap, Mario can embody and control anything he sees fit, living or non-living being. In the trailer we see this with the frog in the trailer, but can Mario really change into a frog in this game? If so, what can he do? Can he jump higher and or farther and reach places he normally couldn't? I'm not too sure about that, we'll have to wait and see, but throughout the game trailer and the E3 gameplay footage, we could see Mario take over a variety of objects and enemies and gain all sorts of abilities and powers. Mario can take over a Goomba, walk around like one, and stack a tower of Goombas as well. A Hammer Bro and chuck hammers like he can, or in this case, a Frying Bro and chuck frying pans. A Fire Bro where Mario doesn't have to rely on a Fire Flower to chuck fireballs, and he could just possess one instead. A Bullet Bill and fly out to unreachable floating objects and places and break objects like stone blocks and cracked walls. A rocket ship and steamed gardens as he shoots up into the sky, presumably to another portion of the world like he can in New Donk City as shown in the demo footage. A lava bubble which can traverse across hot substances like the pink Pepto-Bismol lava as we see screenshots of it and purple coins just sitting atop of it, as well as even be shot out of cannons to reach other destinations. He can also change into binoculars, we've seen previously, to rise up and get a 360-degree view of the entire world, much like how they worked in Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World. Those electric lights we see throughout New Donk City and Toast Arena, which Mario can use to traverse through the levels, just like I predicted in my previous analysis. A Cheep Cheep, which he can use to swim and breathe underwater. A Chain Chomp, which is presumably used to take down enemies and objects, which would normally be more threatening. A frickin' taxi, which Mario can use to drive around in. A Moai, which is a statue that can reveal hidden paths and walkaways. Little traffic pylons that Mario can use to fling himself up and down buildings and streets in New Donk City, and even gain a speed boost while running. Humans, which in this case Mario uses to control a remote car. A Sherm, which is those tank enemies and Mario can use to fire shots at enemies. Manholes, which Mario can move and use to enter secret pathways. Uproots, brand new plant enemies that stretch their legs upward and can reach massive verticality and allow Mario to do the same and hop up tall paths and ladders. A Piranha Plant, which Mario can use to spit poison presumably, or as a choker as it consumes Cappy but can't spew poison. And a mother T-Rex! One would presume Mario could take down almost anything in his path as a literal dinosaur. Also, did anyone else think that was Monster Hunter at the beginning of the E3 trailer? Every time Mario takes over anything, his hat, blue eyes, and mustache encompass it, telling you that it's really Mario under there. You can tell between the first trailer and the most recent one, Super Mario Odyssey will emphasize surprise. There seems to be many possibilities to Mario's hat-possessing abilities, on top of using it as a platform and springboard for either higher jumps or crossing longer gaps. Who knows what else Cappy could possess in Super Mario Odyssey beyond what we already know. This core mechanic really does shape up how drastically different Odyssey is from any other Mario game ever. Mario can also throw Cappy like a boomerang and pick up floating or hard to reach objects and hit enemies in crates and other stuff. He can even throw him and let him roll on the rim of the hat down a path or spin him around similar to Mario's spin from Super Mario Galaxy. He can move around and around Mario multiple times and can even give Mario a slight hop mid-air when throwing the hat, though not as major as Galaxy did. Cappy can also clear poison and make it safer for Mario to walk across in certain areas. There's even a co-op mode where a second player can control Cappy while Mario can move himself along with the camera, and they both can reach obstacles and collectibles, much like music notes as you could see in the Oasis and Toast Arena, just like the Galaxy games. It's very similar to the co-op mode in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Although it's not bad, but most Mario games are for a single player experience. This is a nice addition to have just in case. It's not always an open world 3D playground though. In some instances, there will be a pipe or passage you'll enter, and Mario will pull a link between worlds on us. Jesus Mario, can't you think of something one of your Nintendo pals didn't do? Well, either way, this seems to be put in the most efficient way possible, because whether it be to advance to a different section of the level or for some collectibles, Mario will literally change into a 2D sprite form and walk along walls and platform like his good old Super Mario Bros. Days. Dodging Goombas, bullet bills, and hitting blocks and such like the classics is how he'll climb towers or reach higher ground that's normally harder to nearly impossible to reach, but luckily isn't closed off or completely unreachable in some instances like past games or other video games out there. He'll even keep the same attire that he wore going into the 2D plane. Finding a pipe or exiting through a ceiling of a wall is how he can exit or return back to his 3D glory. There's even a quartet of bunnies that seem to antagonize Mario throughout the adventure. The short, stubby one in the green suit is named Topper, and the female one in the purple dress is Harriet. These bunnies are helping Bowser organize and plan his wedding, as well as they were hired by him. The narrative and subtle detail is very strong with this game. Mario and Cappy will travel in the world in their hat-shaped ship, the Odyssey, as that'll act like Starship Mario in Super Mario Galaxy 2, where you'll go across the world. Of course, you can't run a ship without fuel, so how will Mario collect fuel in this game? Well, in 64 and Galaxy, he collected Power Stars. In Sunshine, he collected Suns. To wrap up the trifecta, Mario will collect Power Moons. I sense a Pokemon Stars joke in there somewhere. And there does seem to be a focus on the moon itself, with how visible it is in New Donk City, the Cap Kingdom, and on New Donk City's flags. Now it makes even more sense. But the thing with each moon is that depending on the world, it has a different color. In the Metro Kingdom it's bronze, in the Sand Kingdom it's green, in the Wooded Kingdom it's blue, and who knows what other colors there are. Red, purple, yellow, pink, black, orange, silver? We'll see. Like before, there's a variety of ways you'll collect moons in Super Mario Odyssey, such as exploring high and low in worlds, doing platforming challenges, running errands, and much more. You could even buy them at Crazy Cap shops. And just like Super Mario 64, not only are multiple moons found within a level, but you can freely find them as you please, in any order you wish. Hell, even in the Crazy Cap shops, it costs 100 coins to buy a moon, just like how it costs 100 coins to get an extra Shine Sprite or Star in Super Mario 64 or Sunshine. There will be a main power moon for you to go after, but there are so many other moons for you to find within each world, you almost forget about it and have fun exploring beforehand. Although, much like Power Stars were in previous games, a tall rainbow pillar of light will be visible from a distance, signifying where your main destination is next. And it's there you'll see Mario and Cappy perform a little dance and celebration animation where they'll celebrate obtaining a moon, much like how Mario obtained a Power Star or Shine Sprite in the past. Also, after certain missions or boss fights, you'll have the chance to earn yourself a Grand Moon as well, which is this game's take on Grand Stars from Galaxy. 3 moons are attached to each other, so one would assume it's the same amount as 3 power moons, right? Maybe 5 or 10, but I would suspect it's 3. You'll be able to view the total number of moons on the flag of the Odyssey, as there's a number on the flag, and there's a moon logo on there as well. Some fans may be saddened to hear there is no hub world, but that's actually not a bad thing. You know why? Because here's the best part. Even if you collect any moon in the game, as well as the main one you're supposed to go after, you don't go back to the ship, you don't go back to some world or anything. You could still explore the world and move on to the next moon, as if nothing happened. This really does encourage you to explore more of each world and see what else there is to discover. Checkpoint flags make a return as well from Super Mario Galaxy 2, 3D Land, and 3D World, and act as not so much checkpoints, but more so spawn points. As shown in the demo footage, once you hit a checkpoint flag just like any other Mario game, your emblem goes over it. But much like in Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario can travel to a specific checkpoint flag as long as he passed one. Fast travel is a thing in this game, and boy, doesn't it make traveling more efficient and more convenient? The poles of the checkpoint flags even match the colors of the moons based on the worlds you're in. Hell, even the map you have resembles a brochure, as if Mario is a tourist going on vacation. The map of the landscape is in the center, the left are little pictures and text explaining the land and overall appeal, and the right is the same with local tourist attractions and goodies as well. The amount of life you'll get in this game is approximately 3 points of health, just like Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Hell, if you listen to the treehouse, it even has the same buzzer sound when you're on 1 point of health left.
I want to say that, what we've been able to show you this time is just, it's a very...
You refill your health by collecting hearts, which make their return from Super Mario 64. They refill health gauge and increase it by 6 if Mario collects Life Up hearts, much like Life Up shrooms from the Galaxy series. But here's a game changer. Not only do coins not refill your life counter, but there are no more lives. Coins act as currency in this game, like coins are supposed to do in real life, and every time you die, you lose 10 of them. Between buying items at Crazy Cap shops and obtaining hearts for your health, it seems there may be more of a difficulty curve compared to past Mario games, huh? Because coins are a lot easier to come by than hearts. If hearts heal 1 point of your health, it's going to be a lot more scarce to come in boss battles and other portions of the level. Your health will be restored every time you find a moon though. Not only do normal coins act as currency, but also purple coins. And the weird thing is, they take on a different shape depending on the world. In the Metro Kingdom, they're regular purple coins with the mayor of New Donk City's silhouette on them. In the Sand Kingdom, it resembles the inverted pyramid. In the Wooded Kingdom, it resembles a nut. And in the Luncheon Kingdom, it's a polygonal food of some kind, and there's approximately 100 purple coins in each kingdom. You could spend coins and purple coins in the Crazy Cap shops that are located throughout each world. Coins are spent on moons, Life Up hearts, and outfits, while purple coins can be used for other outfits and souvenirs based on the worlds you're in, which are probably decorations for the Odyssey. The kind of outfits you can find and buy vary in which kingdom you're in. For example, in New Donk City, you can buy a black fedora and a suit, and Mario will look like a businessman. In Tostarena, you could buy a poncho and a sombrero, and Mario will fit right in with the Tostarenians. This outfit is also a reference to Kicks, a 1981 classic arcade game, as well as a Game Boy re-release, where Mario wore a poncho and a sombrero with even a guitar in his hand. In the Wooded Kingdom, there's also an explorer's outfit and a hat, which is a reference to Mario and Mario's Picross. In the trailer, we see Mario wear a white wedding suit and dapper hat. This is only obtainable through the new Super Mario Odyssey amiibo, however, where Mario wears the same clothes in the figure. A chef's toque and uniform is also obtainable, presumably in the Luncheon Kingdom, and is also a direct reference to how Mario looked in Yoshi's Cookie. In the Cascade Kingdom, aka the new dinosaur world, we see Mario wear his American-themed hat and overalls, which just like in Smash 4, are a reference to his outfit in NES Open Tournament Golf. In the trailer, we also see Mario wear a swimsuit with goggles and a floating tube ready for the summertime, a football uniform similar to the Charging Chuck's uniform, with even a 64 number on the jersey, and in the demo, it was revealed his builder outfit from Super Mario Maker would also be a costume. It's also been confirmed every single line of amiibo would be compatible in Super Mario Odyssey. Just how many costumes are there for Mario to wear? Will Mario run around Station Square in a Sonic costume, or wear the Minish cap and Toon Link's clothes? Some of these outfits are also necessary to obtain certain moons in certain worlds in the game as well. There's a lot to uncover when it comes to the basics of Super Mario Odyssey. Between the abilities, the possibilities, the potential, the characters, the collectibles and such, the layers and detail is massive already, and we haven't even touched the single world yet. So far, I'm finding this super fun, but let's go ahead and dive into these worlds, shall we? Because of the narrative and how I believe the Cap Kingdom is our first kingdom we visit, as well as with how that was the world with the least shown off in quantity, let's start off here. Hope you guys aren't getting bored. This is only the beginning. Before we begin, I should also note each world ties into Bowser's wedding one way or another, so each world serves a purpose for the game's story, practically as much as the Quartet of Rabbids, and almost every world in the game has a day and night cycle, but different events take place depending on the time of day in the world as well. In the trailer, we see Mario dash down a hill with his arms spread out after gaining speed. This is likely after or one of the first moments with Cappy, as we could see the bridge in the background Mario later is on. Off in the distance, we could see the hat theme vividly encompassing Bonneton. the name of the town, which is derived from the word bonnet, a cap small children and women often wear on their heads. All those white hills seem to be fog, as Mario can run through it. In the view, you can see a 2D section on the wall here, and a giant building with a top hat on top. But at the summit is one of Bowser's airships, which is likely where you'll fight either one of the bunnies or an entirely different boss. With the giant full moon in the background, you could see a silhouette of the town continuing, with even more hat-themed structures taking shape, as well as with the town that's close by. Before Cappy lands atop Mario's dome, we see behind him hat-shaped lights on the path behind him, and in the corner of the ground, a hat street light literally right behind him, with the sign having many little hats along it that are black and gold, a crate near that light sitting in the corner, a stack of crates further down the path, and 2 hat-shaped buildings, with both buildings having windows shaped like hats as well. But the odd thing here is the building to the left looks a lot like the Odyssey, Mario's ship, as it has the shape, smoke emits from it like the Odyssey, and there's even a structure for a sail. Will Mario and Cappy have to find pieces for the Odyssey and build it themselves, or is this just concealed from outsiders? Did Bowser use this world to get his wedding attire? As Cappy moves, we see more hat lights on the bridge's handles, more crates behind him, and there's even a red and white something back there. That's likely a poster spreading the word of Bowser and Peach's royal wedding, as we could see those in New Donk City and Toast Arena as well. With more hat lights along the handles of the bridge again, there's a ghostly figure wearing a black hat floating behind Mario and Cappy. He's likely a local resident of Bonneton. We later on see Mario toss Cappy to break open a crate by that tall hat structure we saw earlier. There's even a lever switch next to him, plus even more wedding posters at the base of the building. When Mario breaks open the crate, little swan birds fly out, and you can notice that each bird is wearing a black and gold dapper hat. Isn't that cute? We then see Mario throw his hat along the sign of the bridge to reveal invisible coins and Cappy grabbing them as he returns to Mario. Those hats on the sign begin to unveil their subtlety by being the big gold hat in the center, the other hat lights, the smaller golden hats, and even the frickin' bars of the sign shaping out a hat if connected. They don't call this place the Cap Kingdom for nothing. We even see the same ghostly figure from before with a friend on the bridge where he was before. But what's with this platform out in the fog? Is there a lower section of the town that's hard to see from the fog? And this is how Mario learns of this hat throwing abilities from meeting Cappy on the bridge. Where Mario learns of the capture ability is likely later on, as there's more white grass and overall color surrounding Mario, and there's hills Mario can jump up and coin rings he can go through for some extra coins. We're almost done here, but I seriously feel like the hat building we saw before was the Odyssey because the sail is just uncanny to mistake it. And if we look at the treehouse footage, the interior is similar to the Cap Kingdom. Not only can we see an atlas on the floor of the interior, but the black, white, and yellow color scheme matches, and the hats are literally everywhere. To the coffee table in the center, to the shape of the wardrobe, the knobs on the wardrobe, the shape of the mirror, a little emblem at the base of it, an emblem on the lounge chair to the left, as well as the chairs by the table, the windows of the cabinet doors, on the center of the wall in the back, on the top of the dressers up against the wall, and even the ropes holding the curtains away from the center of the window. Speaking of which, the wardrobe on the right is how Mario changes into the outfits you bought from each world. The hat themes were already apparent outside the Odyssey as well, with the emblem on the cover of the lower front, the door, the light, and the windows and more. Even the exhaust pipes on the back of the Odyssey resemble top hats, and what's more is you can enter them as well and wind up inside the Odyssey, much like how the chimney on Starship Mario led you in the engine room in Super Mario Galaxy 2. And that's all regarding the Cap Kingdom between both Bonneton and the Odyssey. Now let's dive into one of the already highly popular worlds, the Metro Kingdom, aka New Donk City.